everybody, I'm Isaiah and welcome back to my topic channel, or welcome to my topic channel. And guys, today's topic is going to be one I wanted to talk about a little bit. Some of the news has been out for a little bit, but it's definitely a good time to talk about it today. It's another Power Ranger related video. You guys seem to really love and enjoy my last Power Ranger video. I'll put the link down in the description for that one as well. You guys seem, a lot of times when I always post Power Rangers content on the channel, you all seem to really enjoy it and like it. So I do want to start doing a lot more, but I also love talking about other things as well, like Ninja Turtles, Avatar, a lot more. That's what Isaiah Rivers' Topics has always been about. Just talking about different topics that everyone would enjoy. But back to today, in today's topic in the video, I was looking on Instagram earlier today, and I knew that this year was actually, we were celebrating, but today, today's date, June 30th, 2020, 2025, it is the 30th anniversary of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, also known as the very first Power Rangers theatrical film. Now, as a diehard Power Ranger fan, I love this film. The film is one of my favorite childhood movies of all time. And it's the 30th anniversary this year. And it's also the 30th anniversary of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3. Just kind of throwing it out there, as the movie is kind of, based on, the events of what was going to happen in Season 3. A little bit. I'll get into that. But real quick before we continue, guys, it looks like it's been a minute since the last video, a little over a month, probably closer to 2 months. I do apologize for that. I've been focused on a lot of other projects, a couple of things in personal life as well. If you guys do want to keep up with me, please, I would really recommend going over and subscribing to the Nostalgia Pod and the Nostalgia Squad. The Nostalgia Squad is my comedy group that I'm in with my friends. We film a bunch of skits behind the scenes of our podcast. By the way, our podcast is the Nostalgia Pod. I'll put both links in the description, just so you guys can go over and follow, like, and subscribe. We post a lot on there. We do a lot of shorts as well. The episodes are going really great. So yeah, please, if you guys like podcasts, or you guys like hearing about more things that are nostalgic, I would highly recommend going over to those channels, especially because I'm over there a lot more than I am on here, which is one of the main reasons. But I do want to go back into filming, my own content and doing like a bunch of like other great topics as well. But yeah, back to anyways topics. So yeah, today's the 30th anniversary. Or even though you guys probably were watching this a day or after the anniversary came out, but it's today, the day that this video is being filmed, is the 30th anniversary. And I actually do own the 30th anniversary, not the 30th anniversary, the movie on VHS. So this is an original, I think it's the original 95 print in the nice like clamshell figured book, which is really, really great. Like, again, I do really enjoy this movie. This movie means a lot to me because, again, at one point, this was really the only Power Ranger movie, you could watch. There was no other theatrical film. You have Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, which I'll go into a little bit as well. But for, the classic Power Ranger fans, this is the movie that everyone states is the best. And I really do enjoy this movie. That's the, like in when I did my 30th anniversary look back at the Ninja Turtles movie, I got to watch that movie all the time growing up, as it's one of those movies that was always on. I had owned the movies throughout it. But my MMPR, the movie, I didn't own till just a couple of years ago when I picked it up on VHS. It was kind of always on Stars, and it was always on Netflix, So I again, like growing up, there wasn't a really main reason to actually own the film. But back to like the entire sense of this film, this movie has so much has high standards in the Power Rangers, fandom, especially to the point where like when I go to By the way, shout out to Ranger Station, because which is a Power Ranger convention here in Philly. Those got, number one, if you guys are Power Ranger fans, you should definitely check out Ranger Station. It's a fun convention. It's always good. It's literally, basically, I call it the East Coast Power Morphicon. It's so fun. You should really definitely check it out. But I kid you not, the past years that I've went, each time, MMPR, the movie, is playing on at least one of the TVs that they have around, because, I mean, how can you not, celebrate this movie? And with this 30th anniversary, the movie's getting a lot more love. And when the movie first came out, it was kind of a big leap because, Ninja Turtles kind of like brought back, the cartoony, cartoon like toy movies. In 1995, the Power Rangers were on the top of the world. They were the highest selling toy. They were one of the most watched kids shows in all of America. So the movie made sense to do, and it went into production in like 94. A little bit like the movie I feel like the movie takes place between like season 2 and season 3, and you have the 6 heroes that we've come to know and love at this point. You have obviously you have Billy, and you have Kimberly, the blue and pink Rangers. You have Tommy, the white Ranger, and then you have Rocky, Adam, and Aisha, from who took over after Jason, Zach, and Trini left. And I went into a lot of detail in the last video on why like there was like a change in like cast and everything. But anyway, like back to the movie. This movie was very much hyped up from what it seems. Now again, I wasn't around, when the movie came out and all the buzz. But if you look at all of the different things of pop culture and Power Ranger lore, you know how big the movie was. And it's a great movie. It's a really great watch. Still to this day, like the premise is a little weird. Again, it's literally still Power Rangers. It's not trying to go a little more serious route, like kind of like how the Turtle movie did. No, this is still campy, cartoony Power Rangers. Exactly. It's one of the first times they only used American footage because it's a budget movie. And it's a really great watch. And the 30th anniversary is a big deal, to the point where actually this is some of the news that we had known for a while. Funko, who are, great, actually released something that a lot of people, you don't get. We actually are getting Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie memorabilia again. A lot of time, like when the movies came out originally, they didn't really do much. They kind of were just selling, we don't need to make new toys. They were selling just regular ones. Like the regular toys, like the regular action figures, kind of like the ones that are sitting up on the shelf right there. They were using the same molds. However, the movie ones were technically just shinier. They were actually those same molds up there. However, they were like a chrome metallic paint. And then also behind me right here, McDonald's actually released a line of Happy Meal toys. I'm going to show more up close photos of these, because these were actually based on the movie, and those were and they have all the Zords from there. And again, those are really, these are some of my favorite parts of my collection. But as years went on, Bandai, when they still had the license to the Power Rangers toys and everything, they started doing stuff for the movie around the time that 20th anniversary was out. So we got to see like a bunch of they did a full team of 5-inch movie figures. They did the movie Morphers. They ended up releasing ones for white, blue, red, and pink. They did an entire line of Ninjetti coins, and we got a Ninja Megazord in a great looking old school MMPR movie box. So that was really cool. But other than that, the movie really doesn't have much. Funko actually did do like a really exclusive, I think it was like a Funko Con launch, I think was what it was called. They actually ended up doing the Power Rangers in their Ninjetti forms, but that was like a really limited time thing. But now with this Funko news, due to the 30th anniversary of this movie coming out, we're actually getting Power Ranger movie Funko Pops. We have gotten movie Funkos before. In 2017, when the revamped Power Ranger movie came out, which, by the way, y'all completely slept on when it first came out. That movie is fucking phenomenal. I do own it on the Blu-ray. I just don't have it on me at the moment. But that movie was incredible. And the Funkos they did for it, they did all 5 of the heroes. You could buy like a metallic set on Amazon. They did a Toys R Us exclusive. That's how long ago this was, when Toys R Us was still around. They did a Rita and Zordon red and green figure pack, which I've seen at multiple conventions. I'm hoping to pick it up one day because I do love that movie and I love the suits. But other than that, it's always been like Mighty Morphin, Mighty Morphin. Of course, it's still Mighty Morphin, but this is a little different because, again, we're getting the movie finally. So, the line, I'm going to throw a picture up actually now. The line consists of the 6 Rangers from the movie, you know, white, red, blue, black, yellow, pink. But Red actually has his visor. You know, Rocky has the visor that he wore in the movie when he was trying to scan for the villains. And then also, Aisha, the Yellow Ranger, actually has her lights on the top of her head when she was helping everyone see better. And I think those actually glow in the dark. And then white, blue, black, and pink are just the movie suits. So they're not the classic Mighty Morphin suits. They actually are based on the suits from the movie, which is pretty cool. We're also getting Ivan Ooze as well, who actually looks really, really good. And again, we don't get... Ivan Ooze is kind of like an underappreciated villain in the Power Rangers universe. A lot of people didn't like him. I personally love him, and a lot of people that I know that love the movie as well, as much as I do, also think Ivan's a great villain. Very underrated, but when you have someone like Rita, Zed, and Goldar, that's like... of course you're going to get forgotten, especially because he was a movie exclusive villain. Like, they never brought him over to like the cartoon or anything, which I understand. Like, maybe there was like a licensing agreement, but... I thought that would have been cool if to see Ivan on the small screen after seeing him on the big screen. And then the last Funko that they're making is actually one that they do like to do with Power Ranger lines, but you just don't see it as much. We're getting a Ninja Megazord Funko, who when I first saw that, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely picking them up. So real quick, if I'm going to pick any of them up, the pre-orders actually went up. I think they're all GameStop exclusives because that's where I got my pre-order from. I'm only, let me just start off by saying I'm not picking up red, blue, black, yellow, or pink, because I actually already have those in the Funko Pops up there. I'll throw a better picture up, but you can actually kind of see behind me. I do already have the main 5 sets of colors. So to me, I'm like, there's no reason to really pick up another set of those if I already have them. You know, I could pick up red and yellow, but I feel like that would just be kind of like taking up I could use that space for something else. I do have green. I did end up picking... I do have Mighty Morphin Green up there as well. But with that, I did pre-order Mighty Morphin White because I don't have really a lot of like White Ranger anything, and I knew his was going to be pretty sought after because he's the late the late great Jason David Frank, who is Tommy Oliver. Many people consider him the greatest Power Ranger of all time because he is. So I ended up picking up White because I don't have a White Ranger yet in my collection for Funkos. I tried to get the one when they ended up releasing the 30th anniversary of the TV show Pops, but he was a Walmart exclusive and he was kind of hard to find. And I did pick up the Ninja Megazord because I love the Ninja Megazord. It's one of my favorite Megazords from all of Power Rangers. So that was really cool to see. I might pick up Ivan Ooze at one point, but I really only wanted those 2 out of the Funkos. And to keep on the Funkos, I'm going to go back into explaining the movie in a little bit, as I literally just dropped it. I'm going to go back to talking about the movie a little after this. But speaking of Funko news as well, speaking on Jason David Frank, the late great Jason David Frank, we are actually getting new Funkos, new Power Ranger Funkos that are actually not Mighty Morphin. We are getting an exclusive Jason David Frank line. And that is basically, or the Tommy Oliver line, where we are getting all of his Funkos all of his Rangers that he was in Funko Pop form. And I am extremely excited because not only are we getting probably another version of Mighty Morphin Green and White, but we are getting Zeo Red. Zeo is actually getting now into Tommy Oliver, who was the Red Ranger. In Zeo, we are getting a Zeo Ranger 5 Red Funko. We are also getting Turbo Red, who actually, TJ, the Red Turbo Ranger, who ended up being the Blue Space Ranger, is the first non-Mighty Morphin Power Ranger to get a Funko Pop because he shares the powers with Tommy. So that's also pretty cool to see some more representation of the Funkos, even though it's mostly for Jason David Frank. And the one that I'm definitely picking up, because this is my favorite version, I know how much people love Mighty Morphin Green and White, but to me, I first met Tommy Oliver as Dr. O in Power Rangers Dino Thunder, and we are getting a Dino Thunder Black Funko. Now, my question is, if these do well, which I'm pretty sure they will, and I definitely will be picking up Dino Thunder Black when the pre-orders go up, does that mean we might actually now be getting other teams? Like, if this line does well, does that mean they're going to do the rest of Zeo, the rest of Turbo? Are we going to get the rest of Dino Thunder, which I would personally love because that's one of my favorite because Dino Thunder is my second favorite season. But does that mean we could be getting it could be opened up now to In Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed, Time Force, especially Time Force, Wild Force, Mystic Force, which is my personal favorite season? Could this open the door for Funkos like that? Realistically, I probably think not. Although I feel like I know Funko, for the most part, will produce them for like a year and then not really much. Again, these can be like special, limited edition things. Like the 30th anniversary of Zeo is next year. That could be kind of cool to see the rest of Zeo get released and bring back, the 5. You already have like a mold for Zeo with making Zeo Ranger 5. I'd love to see Zeo Ranger Gold. That would be great. Especially like when we get to like In Space and Galaxy, like their 30th anniversaries are also coming up in the next few years. I feel like this would be a great way for people who love those seasons or grew up with those seasons and didn't grow up with Mighty Morphin as much, even though there are so much Mighty Morphin, stuff. It's a great way for them to finally be able to, they can get their favorite Rangers in Funko form. So that's a question for, we'll just see what happens. There has been like many fan made stuff of Time Force and Turbo. At one of the conventions that I went to, actually, there was a guy who was selling like custom made Time Force. He actually had all 6, red, blue, pink, green, yellow, and quantum, which those are really cool to see. And maybe I'll try to pick one up next time I see it, if I ever get to see them again. But back to the movie. So when this movie came out, like I said, it was a gigantic blockbuster thing. Like they had a gigantic Power Rangers like opening at the Chinese theater down on Hollywood, where the Walk of Fame is and everything. All 6 Rangers showed up in the movie suits. And this movie, when it came out, it was a huge success because Mighty Morphin was so popular. But let me talk about like the premise of the movie if you guys have never seen it, without getting like into too much, but you've had 30 years to watch the movie for the most part. But basically it just starts out as any regular Power Ranger. They're they're skydiving for some reason, and like the grand prize is like a free lunch at Ernie's. Which is crazy. But then the Rangers get called to Zordon, who Zordon and Alpha in this movie look fucking incredible, and I swear, and again, that's the only reason they look better than they did on the actual show, was because you had a bigger budget to where you could you were able to pay the actors more, even though I'm pretty sure they still didn't make most money, knowing how Haim Saban was back in the early 90s with Power Rangers. And this, which is probably another reason they never made movie stuff, but anyway. I went through a lot more of that in the last video. But yeah, so this movie was a gigantic success. But back to the premise, we find out that they're at a construction site has found like this weird looking tomb that has risen out of the ground. And, you know, they taped it off, they closed it down. But here comes Rita, Zed, Goldar, and some weird pig motherfucking monster who's again a movie exclusive, but I'm completely okay with that. It kind of looks like Pudgy Pig but slimmer, but supposedly like he's just made there for the movie, and Zed and Rita are trying to open it up, and we find out that it's Ivan Ooze. So Zed and Rita awaken this egg-looking tomb, and Ivan Ooze comes out, who Ivan is just, he's a great movie villain, and he's very cheesy, he's very Power Ranger like, but he's also so funny. Especially like one of my favorite lines is when you know, the Rangers finally get to like where the tomb was open, and he disguises himself as a security guard, and one of the first lines is, "We're the Power Rangers," and he's like, "Whoa, wait, where's my autograph book?" He's just, again, he's supposed to be this like really funny, campy villain. And he definitely is, especially with his henchmen, the Tangas, or the Tongas, as they ended up bringing the Tongas into season 3. And then finally, you know, after they have like a out of suit fight, it's finally morphing time, and they all morph with movie exclusive morphers and a movie exclusive roll call. It's not the Mastodon, Pterodactyl, Triceratops, you know, all five, all six that we know and love. It's literally, it's kind of out of order. You first get Pterodactyl, then Triceratops, Tyrannosaurus, Mastodon, Saber-toothed Tiger, and he doesn't call it the Tiger Zord in this movie, which I think is really hilarious, and like also like really weird that they changed Tommy's roll call. It's not Tiger Zord, it's White Tiger, which I guess makes sense because it is the White Tiger Zord. But anyway, yeah, these suits are really cool. They actually look a lot more homemade, if you understand. Like, there's a lot more padding. The suits kind of look like football equipment. They're a lot beefier, they're a lot bulkier. Their helmets are a little different. And again, it is a movie, as you can kind of see. I feel like the helmets have like a more square kind of look, especially on the Pink Ranger over there. That was definitely different. And I feel like the White Ranger's helmet looks a little different. I feel like the visor's like a little more indented. But during this time, they're trying to find him, and I guess that was a distraction with all the Tangas, because then he goes and destroys the command center and basically almost kills Zordon, to the point where then they have to go off to like this weird like dystopian kind of like planet, I think, and they have to go and find like these new powers, and they get introduced to this new villain. I don't know why I'm blanking on her name. Let me see. Where does it say on here? Journey to a Distant. It actually does not say who it is. I'll put the name up with the picture right here. But anyway, they meet like this really cool, but yet like really like sexy, like hot, basically. Like a lot of kids, like including myself, like as a kid, like this like great warrior who you can tell that like the guys are supposedly to have like the hots for. And like especially like Adam too in this, but she's extremely cool. And the funny thing is, like they ended up going like with this actress. I'll pull it up because I'm blanking. But the main actress that they were actually looking for was Mariska Hargitay from her, you know, who we now know as Detective Benson. But I really can't see her in that role. I don't know. I guess to me she's more of a serious actor. I guess after watching her all this time on SVU, but she's there's like a bunch of pictures, but she unfortunately, like they ended up just doing a recast. But anyway, they find the powers, and this is actually the first time you get to see the Ninjetti powers and the Ninjetti costumes, which are some of my favorite costumes in Power Rangers. I just love the fact that they look like pajamas, but again, they're supposed to just be like ninja suits, which are really cool. You know, they didn't get the Ninja Ranger power now and all that stuff yet. But these suits were really cool and really put together, and we got one of the best lines in the movie. He was just where Adam just goes, "Oh man, I'm a frog." And again, that's just such a great line from the film. But another thing great about this film is that, like, Ivan's plan is to basically enslave all of humanity, which is probably one of the darkest plots in Power Rangers at the time. Because usually Rita just wanted to destroy the Rangers and take over the world. She never really talked about enslaving humanity, but Ivan ends up selling this ooze, his Ivan's ooze, and basically it's to mind control the parents for some reason. I guess it doesn't work on kids because I guess it's because the kids are gonna find it and think the goo's cool, and when the parents go and like actually play with it, they end up getting completely mind controlled. So now the Rangers have to stop Ivan, so they all end up getting these awesome new Zords, which is like, this is like when CGI and like computer animation was just becoming a thing. And you can tell that this animation is very 90s. The animation has not aged well. Like, everything CG. The Zords are CG. Like, goodbye the costumes from Japan. No, this is all CG, computer animated. And it's funny. In there's something in like the Power Ranger lore. There's like this making of the movie, and they actually had like the toy from Japan's season, Kaku Ranger, which is where the Zords are from the Sentai, which Kaku Ranger is really good. I highly recommend if you're a Sentai fan. But they took the Zords from there, and they actually had like the Japan toy on like one of the desks of like the animators when they were designing the Ninja Megazord. So with the help of the kids out of the movie, they end up saving the world and destroying Ooze and like his ant fucking like snake centipede looking things as well. And then it ends with fireworks, and it ends up with one of the kids, I think his name was Danny, that they were hanging out with, that Tommy was really good friends with. Ends up with him helping save the day, and also during that time they were able to use the new Ninjetti like powers to bring back and revive Zordon. So again, like the movie, it's only like an hour and a half long, but it is such a good film, and this was like the last time like any of the like original cast was in a film for the most part, because like when Zeo happened, Kimberly had left in season 3, and we got Kat, Aisha left, and we were great with Tanya. Actually, the funny thing, in every Power Rangers movie, because he even made a cameo in a 2017 one, I guess just for fans. But yeah, JDF is the only one that's been in like every single theatrical Power Ranger movie. Because he was in, obviously, MMPR the movie, but he was also in Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. And he was also in not MMPR, but Power Rangers 2017. But I still think this movie actually holds up. If you haven't seen it and are a Power Rangers fan, I feel like in today's standards, you have to be a Power Ranger fan to find this movie enjoyable. Because if you're just like someone going in fresh, you're not going to think this movie is any good for the most part. Although I would still highly recommend giving it a watch, because again, it's if you like Power Rangers, it's going to be campy, it's going to be corny. That's what Power Rangers realistically is. But yeah, guys, so that's basically, my, take on the 30th anniversary season of Power Rangers. I love this movie. I love MMPR the movie. I'm so excited for like the Funko news, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated with more Power Ranger content and more nostalgia content, as I'm gonna try to get back into making more videos as more topic news comes out. Instead of just going from like a random schedule, I kind of want to start coming up here more and more. I want to start making my own. I want to start making videos again, because I really do enjoy making these videos. But anyway, guys, yeah, that was my look back on MMPR the movie. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you haven't, because in my opinion, you always need topics in your life. Until I see you guys again, this is Isaiah River Topics, signing off.